Welcome to Threaded South. My name is Ashley, and in this tutorial you will learn how to create an off-white inspired graphic tee. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The first thing you want to do is create a new file. Change this to inches, and the width will be 12 and the height will be 15. Change your resolution to 300 and CMYK color. Now we're going to open up our Mona Lisa image. Go ahead and rename this layer and right click Convert to Smart Object. Drag it over into your document. And here I'm just going to resize it so that it's in the center of our canvas. And go ahead and duplicate this layer. On the first layer, we are going to add a wind effect. Go up to Filter, Stylize, and Wind. And then click OK. And now on the second layer, we are going to change this one to Subtract. Now go up to Filter, Stylize, Solarize. Now go back up to Filter, Pixelate, and click on Mosaic. Change the cell size to 64. Now we're going to open up our blindfold image and zoom in on your image and use your pen tool to select the blindfold. I will speed this up a bit. Make a selection from it and change your feather radius to 0. Rename your layer and right click Convert to Smart Object. Make a mask from it. And drag it over into your document. Place the blindfold over Mona Lisa's eyes. Now here I am converting it to a smart object. And here I will use my warp to adjust the nose part of the blindfold so that it lines up. Now here I will use a soft brush and change my flow to 31% to erase the edges. Now I'm going to place the blindfold within its own folder. Rename it, of course. And now I will select the Hue and Saturation Adjustment layer, place it on top, and right click Create Clipping Mask. Change the saturation to -100. And now we're going to add a Brightness and Contrast layer. Change the brightness to -67. And change the contrast to -50. Now we're going to add a color balance layer. Change the first value to 87, the second to 15, and the last one to -100. Now we're going to add a new layer, and I will rename this Soft Shadow. Now use a soft brush to add some shadow on the sides of the blindfold. Change this layer to Multiply. Do the same for the other side as well, using a darker brown color. Now use your pen tool and make a shape along the bottom edge of the blindfold. This is where we will add a soft shadow. Make a selection from it and fill it with a dark brown color. Use your paint tool. And now we're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And change the radius to 4.7. Rename your layer. And change this layer to Multiply. We're going to do the same for the top portion of the blindfold. And also make sure you change the opacity to 80%. Now on the top, our shadow will be a bit bigger. And of course, go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And here we're going to increase the radius to about 24.7. Rename your layer. And change this layer to Multiply. And the opacity to 80%. Now we're going to open up our tape file and make a selection of the background and delete it. Use different pieces of tape and add them to your artwork. Now here I will change the opacity to 95% and place them within a group. Now we're going to add a brightness and contrast layer above it and change the brightness to 41. Now place all of your artwork within a group. Now we're going to add a solid color layer and change the color to 21439B. And right click, create clipping mask. Change this layer to color. Now we're going to add a color balance layer above it and change the first one to -25. The second one should be 100 and the third one should be 100. Now we're going to add a brightness and contrast layer. Change the brightness to 59 and contrast should stay at 0. Now we're going to use our type tool and I'm going to type out the words "You are your own masterpiece." Now for this portion, I'm not really worried about the text being legible. So here I will change the size to 216 and the leading will be 129 and the color I will be using is 831431. And even if some words get cut off, that's fine with me because it's not supposed to be legible. And here I will change my layer to hue. Now in the corner, I'm going to type out the name of the brand. And I am going to change the size to 52. And the color will be 0093D2. and change your spacing to -20. And here I'm changing my layer to color dodge and rotating it so that it's diagonal. Now here I'm actually typing out the words "You are your own masterpiece." And here I want this one to be a bit more legible. So here I'm changing my spacing to 160 into a navy color and turning it to the side. And that is how you make an off-white inspired graphic tee. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you would like to grab some merch, head on over to threadedsouth.com. Thanks for watching.